Hello, in this video I will give you a brief overview on all the options and features available in GeoDirectory plugin. So in the sidebar, if you click on GeoDirectory, you will come to this page. You'll see more links on the left and tabs across for each of the link here. You can go through and just kind of have a look. Make sure you don't change anything as of now. If you have questions, please email me. So let's go into design. The design where it defines how the pages will look on the front end of the website. So the home, we do not use this page because we have a custom home page. Listings is each of the pages here. So this would be the listing page where it has a list of all of the listings in a specific category. Oops, excuse me. Search is what shows up once somebody actually searches for a listing, which would be if they use any of these fields here, what it looks like afterwards. And because we're using a Supreme directory, the search page will look exactly like this listing page. Details, all of these options pertain to the details page. So if you go to any specific listing, this tab controls the settings for this specific page. Layout. Author page we do not use because if you had multiple authors adding listings to your website, there's also an option to have this page enabled where people can look up an author and then they can look up all of the listings posted by that specific author, something we do not need. Some of the other options here for navigation, marker clusters, things like that. The thing I wanted to point to you are the custom post types. So custom post types, as I mentioned before, are the four main parent categories that we have on the website, which are located right here. We will be referring to them as custom post types because within those custom post types we have categories and that will be just confusing. So custom post types, so if we click on it, you'll see the four original we have set up here. If in the future you wanted to add a new one, you can also come here, click on post type, fill in all the fields, and it will be listed in here. Once you save it, it will automatically show up in the sidebar. Now, if we go into each specific custom post type, it will give us options. These options in the custom fields, these are the options that show up on the edit page. So if we click to edit any specific listing under that specific custom post type, so we are in accommodation, which for short is stay. So these options here, accommodation information, all the links that show up right over here. These are the choices of the fields that you are able to add. So in the future, if you ever wanted to be more specific, for example, about properties that you're listing in real estate, you have some predefined fields here that you will be able to add. But for now, these are the fields that we currently have set up. Some of the fields we are not able to remove because they're system fields. Like, for example, categories. That's something that's required by the system, so we cannot delete this. But you can change the title. You can change descriptions, and let's look here. There you go. You see the category. If we change this to something else in here and save, this title here will also change. And some of the other options, like this information shows up on details page and listings page. So for example, here's your category that's on the listing page. And if we click on the main listing page, you also see the category here. So if you ever wanted to exclude it, say from this page or from the details page, you would come in here and just simply click on the X to delete it. You can also set the field required or not required. Some fields may be required by you, some may not be, some may be optional. So anytime you make a change, click on save and that will save your changes. You're also allowed to change the order by just dragging and dropping where you want it to be. And of course, every single one, if you double click on them, it will give you the options to change whatever you need to change. Advanced search. This is the fields that will be available in here. So this would be the destinations. Currently, we only have destinations set up here. You also have an option to select a category, but I don't think this would be very intuitive because we have multiple custom post types, not just for that specific. Like if you had a directory with one custom post type and it had categories inside, this would make sense because then you would have categories pertaining to every single listing in this directory. But because your directory is set up with multiple custom post type and each of them has its own separate category list, it does not make sense to add this category to the sorting bar. And then the sorting options, we do not use them, but I believe I showed you before that if we do add something in here, then below this bar for sorting will show up another bar with more options, which will include these sorting options that you add on the right side. I know this is very confusing, but this is some of the things that you should know. Now your reviews, if you go in here, when people are will start to post reviews on any of your listings, the review will first come and show up in here. It will be held for moderation, which means it will not show up on the website right away. You have to approve it. So you can also come back and unapprove a rating later if you wish to. And once you actually approve it, then it will show up on the page with the markings of the stars and the actual text that somebody inputted in here. Now what else? I think this is it for now. Advanced search, some of the options here you can also set. You can look through them, ask me questions if you have any. But I think this pretty much covers the directory.